Hey everyone, welcome to Crime Family. I'm your co host AJ, and I'm here with my sister and co host Lisa. Katie's not able to join us this week. Just something came up and she couldn't be with us. But so it's just going to be Lisa and I for this week. And for this episode, Lisa is going to be leading the case again, taking us through the Jennifer Kesse case. And if you've been watching this season so far, Lisa kind of likes to do these cases where she knows all of the information, and Katie and myself kind of go into it a little bit. We don't know as much. I think this case is a little bit more well known. So it might be something like the name is definitely familiar to me. So I've heard of this case, I think, but maybe I don't know all the details. So anyway, Lisa's going to be telling us about this case. And without further ado, she will take it away.
Okay, so as AJ said, this is the case of Jennifer Kesse. When you Google her name and her picture comes up, I think that is you would definitely recognize it. I feel, um, but yeah,
Yeah,
let me just
I think I did. I didn't want to Google too much because I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole and I would
yeah,
know everything because I
yeah,
wanted you,
yep,
like I said, you like to
yeah,
you know, have
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah,
not know everything about it.
yeah.
So
Okay,
I
okay,
purposely kept myself in the dark.
okay, perfect. Jennifer Kesse was a 24-year-old girl who had good friends, a loving family, a good job, and a loving boyfriend in 2006. She had just recently graduated from the University of Central Florida, got a job at a timeshare company, and had bought her first home, which was a condo in Orlando, Florida. She was born on May 20th, 1981, in New Jersey, and not long after, her parents and her younger brother had moved to Tampa, Florida, where she was raised. While at the University of Central Florida, she studied finance and graduated with honors in 2003. So, not long after graduation, she accepted a job as a finance manager at Central Florida Investments Timeshare Company. She was quickly promoted a few times, and not long into her time there, she was able to buy her first home, which was that condo in Orlando, Florida. A child of her best friend named Lauren McCarthy actually said in an interview with 48 Hours that Jennifer had specifically chosen this condo building, which was called Mosaic at Millennia, because it was gated and it had a guard, so she felt this was, like, the safe community to live in. So she specifically chose it for the safety measures that this, community provided. So right before her disappearance, Jennifer had taken a vacation to St. Croix with her boyfriend, Rob Allen. So her and Rob have been together for about a year at this point, and since he did live 3 hours away in Fort Lauderdale, they would see each other every other weekend. So her and Rob arrived back from vacation on January 22nd, 2006. So Kesse went to her place, and then Rob traveled 3 hours back to his place. The next day was a normal day. Jennifer went back to work, did her normal work thing. When she left her office that day, she spoke on the phone with her mom and dad. Then she talked with Rob on the phone until about 10 p.m., and this would be the last time he would ever speak to her. Rob that did later say in an interview that their last conversation didn't go well. They had an argument. The long distance relationship was taking a toll on the relationship, so it wasn't the best conversation um, that they had. So the next morning, January 24th, 2006, Rob is a little surprised when he doesn't receive his usual good morning text or call from Jennifer. Usually every morning, she would call or text him on her way to work or when she woke up. That was, like, their thing, and they always talk in the morning, so it was out of character for her that Rob decides to call her on his way to work a second time, but it goes straight to voicemail. So he leaves a message knowing that she did have a lot on her plate and a busy work schedule, so he doesn't read too much into it at first, and he just goes about his day. But then he does call her a second time throughout the day, and again, it goes straight to voicemail. Meanwhile, over at her timeshare company where Jennifer worked, her employer realizes that she hasn't shown up and didn't call in or give any notice, which is not like her at all. So a coworker contacts her parents, Drew and Joyce. When they can't get a hold of their daughter either, they get in their car right away and drive to Jennifer's condo, which is 2 hours away. So her parents lived in Tampa, and they drive 2 hours to Orlando to Jennifer's place. So when they get to her place, they don't find anything suspicious, nothing seems to be out of place. It looks like she literally had just left. There was makeup all over the counter, her pajama shirt was on the floor, the shower was still wet in the corners, like she literally just had a shower. In a later interview Drew and Joyce did on the Nancy Grace show, her mom says, it was just like typical Jen, hurriedly leaving for work, makeup out on the counter, hair dryer, what she wore to bed the night before on the bathroom floor. There was a couple outfits strewn on the bed. So the only items that seemed to be missing from her apartment were her keys, her purse, iPod, and cell phone, and her car was also gone. So Joy says in a 48 hours interview, quote, "She slept in her condo for sure, and I think she got up for work as she normally would and said, 'Okay, I'm going to work. I have a meeting. It's busy.' Locks the door of her condo, and that's where the mystery starts." End quote. So Jennifer's parents immediately call police, and they start reaching out to local hospitals, and they go around her whole condo complex talking to as many people as they can, asking if they have seen her daughter. And when the police show up, according to Drew, who's Jennifer's father, the police look around the apartment, shrugged their shoulders, and said she probably had a fight with her boyfriend and she'll be back. And he goes on to say that they, quote, "walked out and that was Jennifer's last chance," end quote. So on that night, January 24th, the police officially begin an investigation into Jennifer Kesse's disappearance and officially declare her missing, which is surprising to me in a way. I mean, I think we hear this so many times, like you have to wait a certain amount of hours before you file a missing person report, especially when it's an adult. Think things may be different now, but definitely back in 2006, I feel like they don't rush right away to declare an adult missing after a few hours. So the fact that they instantly kind of declare her missing that night is surprising to me. So Drew and Joyce, they waste no time and start phoning local media outlets and hand out missing posters. And hundreds of people show up to help aid in the search for the missing woman who seems to have simply vanished. 2 days later, January 26th, Kessie's car is a 2004 Chevy Malibu was found, abandoned in another apartment complex called Huntington on the Green, and it's about a mile from the condo. So it's found in this parking lot 2 days later.
Never a good sign.
No.
Whenever they find a car, like an
Yeah.
abandoned car, like that's
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
good.
So when security cameras are checked at that parking lot, it reveals that it had been parked there since 12 p.m. the day she went missing. So, in 48 hours, they talk about a witness from Jennifer's condo building who believes that they had seen Jennifer's car swerve out of the parking lot at around 7:40 a.m. on that morning, but doesn't know the direction it was heading. So someone did see someone peel out of the parking lot in her car. Whether it was Jennifer or not, I mean, that's no forensic evidence was found inside the car, but police believe the car was cleaned. So the security camera also provides one of the biggest and maybe only big lead in the case. The camera shows the person behind the wheel at around noon, parking the car, sitting in the car for about 30 seconds, exiting the vehicle and walking away. This has become the infamous part of the case because there is this big black 6 foot. I don't actually. I don't know how tall it is. But I would say it's like a metal or an iron fence that surrounds the parking complex. And in the security footage, when police they're gonna try to see this person's face, they realize the security footage takes a photo every 3 seconds, and every time the photo is taken, the person's face is hidden by the fence. So that is surrounding the parking lot complex. So every 3 seconds, it's the person is behind the pole. Like
Of
it's
course. But there's no video? It just takes pictures?
no, it's just every 3 seconds a picture. So you have snapshots of this person, and every time the face is hidden,
That's annoying. Why
which
wouldn't it
is
be a
which is
video camera?
I don't know. It's just picture every 3 seconds. And I just thought for some reason I find those pictures very creepy. I don't know. It's something about it. It's just eerie. So this is where the theory comes that it looks like it was a painter of some sort, maybe because he is wearing white. The person is wearing white overalls that painters wear, or like a laborer of some sort. It's all white. Um, so it looks like he works as a painter or window cleaner or something.
Yeah. I just looked
Um,
it up now, the
yeah,
picture.
right?
Yeah.
Like, it looks yeah.
Yeah, very
Um,
weird.
yeah. So, Detective Joel Wright details in this 48 episode I keep talking about that the police did quite a bit of measuring and working with different camera angles, and they had a lot of people at different heights walk by. And so with those results of that experiment, the police come up with the height of between 5'3" and 5'5", and the clothing this individual appears to be wearing, like I said, looks to be like clothes that painter would wear. I know, although no one has ever identified who's driving the car, it is still one of the biggest pieces of evidence that they have. They have this person that exited Jennifer's car, so we can uh, strongly suggest that this person had something to do with it. He was in her car for some reason. Investigators also want to look at the security footage from Jennifer's building, but they find it's not installed yet. There was no security is installed yet. So there is a security guard that was hired to keep logs of all visitors, and he's asked to hand over these logs. And when he does hand in the logs, the police find out that it's incomplete, which is weird. So later, it is discovered, according to a GoFundMe set up by the Kesse family, that a complete set of keys for the complex had been stolen about a month before Kesse's disappearance. So someone has keys to
Keys
every
for her
apartment.
for her
So,
apartment.
like big ring of keys for all the apartments someone stole it a month ago before she disappeared. Um, so there have just been a lot of things in this case that have roadblocked police. For example, when police attempt to gather forensic evidence inside Jennifer's condo, they realize the scene has been compromised and contaminated after several family members and friends used her place as a gathering place to kind of um, reconvene after they've said like searching and kind of like a station for finding Jennifer. So in the days after Jennifer what goes missing, her brother Logan Kesse, he attempts to speak to some of the laborers working around the complex. He says on 48 Hours that they were uncooperative, and he sensed that someone knew something. So at the time Jennifer went missing, there was a lot of renovations going on around the building. The workers had actually moved into vacant suites around the property while they're working on all these renovations. And Jennifer had actually told her parents that she felt uncomfortable when she crossed paths with some of them. Her parents have said that whenever the workers were around or in her actual condo for painting or repairs or whatever, she would stay on the phone with the parents until they left. She would stand in the doorway and just talk to her mom until they were gone. She felt uneasy. The workers actually did do some work in Jennifer's home the week before she disappeared. So they were in her apartment, whether they're painting or fixing something, 1 week before she disappeared. And apparently, a lot of the other residents felt the same way because, again, on 48 Hours, several women said they too felt uncomfortable around the laborers because of inappropriate comments and unsettling encounters. Like the workers would catcall to the woman and just make them feel very uncomfortable. So, and it turns out many of the construction workers actually disappeared before police could talk to them. And when they ones that did get the ones that the police did speak to, there was a language barrier. So I think they were, like, working here illegally from like, illegal workers, because they hightailed it out of there anytime, like, as soon as authorities came. Um, so ABC actually did a segment on this, and an investigator said during that, authorities had received information around the time Jennifer went missing. A witness saw a pickup truck dump a 6 by 8 foot piece of rolled up carpet in the lake before driving away. So dive teams searched the body of water for 2 days, but there are no results. And then in 2024, a company actually looks close at the area again, but doesn't find the carpet at all. So if someone actually did dump a carpet at the lake, it would be at the bottom of the lake. So I don't know if they went to the wrong lake or that was just not true that they did that. So, also, it's been said there's also been evidence suggesting that markings on Jennifer's car could indicate that there was a struggle before she was taken somewhere. There were photos taken of the car, of course, shortly after it was found, and in those photos, it shows handprints across the hood. It looked like someone was thrown down on top of the hood, arms spread out, and then dragged back, almost like off the hood, to the point where you can almost see fingers scribbling down the hood. Jennifer's father says.
That's
Which
creepy.
is terrifying. Yes. So, 6 months after her disappearance, Detective Joel Wright becomes the lead investigator, and he develops a theory on what he believes happened to her on January 24th, 2006. He says, quote, "I believe Jennifer got ready for work. She showered, got dressed, went outside her condo, locked her door on the way out, and made it as far as her car. After that, I believe she was abducted." End quote. So she got abducted between the front door and her car, essentially. That's what she's saying.
Or he's saying that she got to the car.
Yeah.
Because if the handprint and the stuff on the hood from a struggle indicates if it's from
Oh,
her, if
right.
there was a
You're right.
struggle, it indicates that she got to the car at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. And it's just off, but like no one saw anything, heard
Yeah,
anything.
it's also I was saying it's morning, right? It's like
Yeah, getting ready. And
so
it's an apartment complex, right? Everyone's out and about. A lot of working professionals probably get ready for work, and that's the struggle on the car. I'm sure she'd be yelling and screaming, and no one
yeah.
has ever said they heard that. No one's
And that
ever
would
said
be
they
the
heard a
time and that would be the time of day everyone's getting out to go to
yeah,
work, to getting into their
and
car. There'd be a lot of
no one's ever said, "I heard a woman scream." They heard nothing.
so
But that
yeah,
one
that's weird.
witness did see s her car squealing out of the parking lot, at 7:40. So someone saw the aftermath, like, when something already happened, I feel, but no one heard
Do you think
her
somebody, like, attacked her by her car, the stuff on the hood is,
forced
like,
her in
from that struggle, forced her in the car and then peeled out of the parking lot?
unless they put her in the car and then the struggle happened in the other parking lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I there was not but they also
Maybe they were
there was
waiting in
not
her car for her.
yeah.
Like, maybe she got in the car and then they were, like, in the back seat and, like,
Yeah, but I
had a
well, that's
gun to her
another thing, it's
head
like,
and
she's
she peeled
very
out.
they also say, like, she was such a cautious person about safety, like, she always had her keys out and between her fingers so she could use it as a weapon when she was walking, she chose this for, the safety elements of so I feel like she wouldn't keep her car unlocked all night. You know, how would they get in? The car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They
Um,
picked the lock.
yeah, maybe.
And they wouldn't know. I mean, if
Yeah,
there's someone who's yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. Well, I was thinking if there's someone who is, like, a maintenance worker is around, maybe they know how to pick locks. I don't know. Maintenance worker,
yeah,
maybe getting it I don't know,
yeah,
maybe that's a skill that somebody would have or just from they I don't
yeah,
know. But
yeah,
so maybe they picked the lock, got in, and they're just waiting in her car for her.
yeah, which is
And
a
then
biggest fear.
because it could have been her that was driving the car when it peeled out, right?
That's what I mean, it could've been. So, yeah, no one ever said, like, no one ever got a look at the witness never got a look at who was driving the car, it was just Jennifer's car squealing out of the parking lot at some point, and she didn't see what direction it was going.
Yeah.
Sh yeah, could've been Jennifer,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, could've been, yeah.
Because I just
Um,
find it very weird that no one would see it. Like, I feel like maybe the struggle
yeah,
happened inside the car because that would be more believable that no one saw anything or heard anything because if it's happening inside, I mean, or if they were waiting in the car for her when she got there, no one's gonna necessarily see anything. Maybe did the car have tinted windows? Like maybe it's dark. You can't see anything in the car. You know what I'm saying? So, and that would be a smarter thing for that person who's
yeah,
doing this to
yeah,
do. Like, why would you attack her in broad daylight in front of her car in a
right.
complex? Like that sounds
It's like,
risky
she
at
came home,
best.
like, why not do it at night, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
late at night I don't know, it's just a weird time to try to plan your attack. I would
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm thinking and I'm going back to what you said before about, like, somebody
Yeah.
having stolen the key ring. That one might be something totally, like, just a coincidence that it happened and not related because like, nothing happened inside her house. So they wouldn't have needed the key to break into her house, like, if there's waiting for her in her car. And the key wouldn't be to her car, right? The key ring, it's just to the apartment. So maybe that's just a weird
Yeah,
coincidence
it was
that it
worth
happened to go
mentioning.
missing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just worth mentioning it because someone stole the keys, some and s who kn like,
yeah.
someone that's
It's
a
definitely,
sketchy
like, an intriguing thing that you'd wanna look into
I
more,
think
but,
that's
like,
what
it
yeah,
it
because
could plausibly be unrelated.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not easily like yeah,
Someone
like, you could see a scenario where it just happened to be some other person for other
yeah,
reason
that's
stole
another
it.
crime that needs to be looked into for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's also, like, also entirely plausible that it's related. Maybe the
yeah,
person stole it and planned to do something in the house, like break into her house, and
yeah,
then change
yep,
their plan later and then realize, "Oh, I'll just break into her car
yeah,
or be
yeah,
at the car." I don't know. But I'm thinking if it happened at the car, I'm thinking it had to have happened inside the car. Somebody was in there already waiting. Because I can't see a scenario where someone in broad daylight in a crowded complex at that time of day isn't gonna see somebody getting attacked outside their car. Like, to me, that doesn't seem
I
possible.
yeah, but
A busy area, broad
someone
daylight.
there was a struggle on top of that hood, and and at some point, no
Yeah, that might have
one
happened after. Like, yeah, maybe
but what I'm saying though is like wherever it happened, no one ever came forward saying they heard this or witnessed it. And if a car was found in an apartment complex of another place, there'd be people around too. And it said that car was there. That car was left there at 12 p.m. that same day. So it still happened during. Uh, Regardless, no one ever they were able to attack. This attack happened without anyone ever coming forward and saying, I heard this. I heard a woman screaming. You know what I mean? It's odd.
yeah. What city was this in?
Orlando.
Orlando. I was thinking 'cause, yeah, I was thinking maybe they took her and then, like, took her to, like, a secluded place to
Yeah.
kill her. And then maybe she, like, somehow got out of the car and the attack happened
Oh,
there,
yeah,
but it's, like,
that's
very
true.
secluded,
Oh,
like, in the
yeah,
woods
and
or
then
something, no one's gonna see it.
yeah, and then he
And
drove
then they
left it
just drove the
left it
car. Yeah,
that's a good point. I yeah, that's good point. I didn't think of that. That could have happened.
yeah, 'cause I feel like that
Yeah.
would be the only way that
Yeah,
attack
scenario.
with the
Yeah.
hood, like, that scenario would happen where no one would see anything. Because it seems like people like, the only things that people saw was her peeling out of the lot. Like, anytime there would have been like, something happening in a busy place, something was seen potentially by someone. So, you can't then say that she's also getting attacked on the hood of her car without anyone seeing anything. So, the only way that would happen, I feel like, is if that part happened in a
Yeah,
secluded
that's a
place.
good point. Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously would have had to happen very quickly because, like you said, the car was parked in that other lot by noon. So,
Yeah.
between, like, what time did she
Um,
leave her house? Like 7:30, 7:40?
well, someone said they saw someone we keep saying peeling out, but we saw her, like, her, like, pedal to the metal, her car was leaving at 7:40 AM.
Okay, so somewhere between 7:40 and noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know where the car was or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
That's
Yeah.
so, so it's almost 3 years after Jennifer's disappearance, Detective Wright decides to take a fresh look at the case and conduct some more interviews. So, one of the people he interviews is a former housekeeper of Jennifer's condo complex. So when Detective Wright shows the woman the security camera photo of the unidentified person, she says it resembles someone she knows. A man she knows from the complex who goes by the name Chino. This is the first time police ever hears of this Chino guy. So it's 3 years later. They decided to do more interviews. I don't know if they never even tried the housekeeper before, and this is the first one ever interviewing the housekeeper. But this is the first time they're ever hearing of this guy. So Detective Wright learns that Chino used to live in another building at Jennifer's condo complex, and he was a former maintenance worker there. Not only did he do some work around the complex, he was one of the workers actually in Jennifer's apartment the week before she disappeared. Detective Wright also finds a crime line tip that was reported during the first week of the investigation that suggests Chino might have been involved in Jennifer's disappearance. So Wright goes to look for Chino and finds him in prison serving time for a statutory rape charge. So in March of 2009, Wright interviews Chino from prison and asks him about the time he worked in Jennifer's condo. And Chino says that Jennifer let him in the condo. He says everything was normal and he has no idea what happened to her. And he also takes a polygraph test and he passes. And so NASA even gets involved in the disappearance. So when police retrieve the video footage from the apartment complex where Jennifer's car was abandoned, the quality is so grainy they call on NASA for help clearing up the security footage. So NASA was contacted to use their advanced technology to get a better look at the person of interest. So even though NASA was helpful in making the footage easier to decipher, the images were still not clear enough to identify the person with certainty. So that person in that painter's outfit behind that fence, it's still they have no idea who he is. They cannot see his face.
That's the thing that always pisses me off. It's like, you see, like, this day and age, you have, like, crystal clear televisions that have the best picture ever, and then surveillance footage is still the worst ever
Yeah,
quality that
that's
you
what I
would
mean,
ever
like,
imagine.
this is another case of the perp getting extremely lucky. Like, luck it's just like
Like, I think it's time to invest in surveillance footage that
yeah,
actually is HD quality. Like, why does it have to be
yeah,
grainy and horrible? And,
and I wonder if
like, I
'cause,
always wondered that.
I don't know if the building I think the building was kinda new and been built in maybe 3 years before she moved in, or it was so they were doing a lot of work on it, but it was like I said, the security cameras were installed yet. I wonder if Jennifer knew that. Like, I don't she was so safety conscious, I wonder if she even would have moved in if she knew that like, she would have wait the cameras weren't installed, you know? Um, it it's just an interesting, thing I wonder about because
And it's probably not, would that be information that this person who did it would know?
yeah, if it was a maintenance worker at that building, I would think they would know because 'cause they're probably the ones that are gonna be installing the security cameras.
Yeah. What was the maintenance for, do you know? Painting
Everything. It was
or just
painting, they were renovating, it was just yeah, they were just doing a lot of renovations. They didn't really specify, but they and there was a bunch of them, and they had just doing
'cause I also
renovations on
wonder, like, I don't know, maybe a maintenance worker wouldn't know that. Like, would the owner of the complex be like, "And we don't have security cameras, so no worries." Like, I don't think you'd wanna tell someone who's, like, visiting the property, "We don't have surveillance footage." Like, why would you say that? you might wanna just have them assume that there is in case they try to do anything, not that they would, but maybe most people aren't gonna assume, I don't know. That's just my, like,
I just
true
wonder
crime
if
mind, like, thinking,
yeah,
why
I
would you
just
tell
wonder if
someone there's no footage?
Jennifer ask about, like, did she know that there weren't any s I wonder if she knew. She must have known there weren't security cameras there yet. I don't know if it really matters. I'm just wonder if she would have even chose that spot if there wasn't
But I'm
under
just thinking, like, in
surveillance.
terms of, like, if this person just got that lucky, like, I feel like if someone knew there was no cameras, then that would explain, like, but if that just so happened that they still did this and there just happened to be no cameras, like, of course, they just got lucky. That's annoying. But I'm thinking maybe it's someone who somehow knew there was no.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't really know. I'm trying to think, like, would that be something that's common knowledge to people who are living there, to people who, like, that's not really advertised, they don't have a sign. There's no surveillance footage. Usually people will put signs that say there is, even if there
Yeah,
isn't.
yeah.
So, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
wondering if that was something she been asked, or she just
Yeah.
assumed there was, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But so NASA, they used even NASA, they used the best technology that is out there, and they can't enhance this guy's this person, we don't know if it's man or woman, this person's face. So then, in 2010, Detective Wright actually gets reassigned to another case, and as more time goes on, the Kesse family starting to grow frustrated with the Orlando Police Department's investigation. So in 2016, 10 years after she vanished, she's declared dead by the state of Florida. Which I always thought it was the family that makes that choice, but I thought it like if the family wants to, because I remember we did the Springfield 3, and only one of them was declared dead because the family wanted to declare them dead, but the other ones weren't because the family I thought maybe it just depends on the state. I don't know.
I was
I
thinking
just
maybe
didn't
that's
know.
something that, like, the family can advocate for if they want it. But I don't think
Yeah,
maybe they're not the only ones who can make that.
yeah. Anyway, so the state of Florida just in 2016, she's declared dead. So in December 2018, the Kesse family sues the Orlando Police Department for a copy of Jennifer's files. And after months of fighting back and forth, in March of 2019, a settlement is reached. So the Orlando Police Department hands over more than 16,000 pages of documents and 67 hours of video and audio tape, which cost the family around $18,000. And under the agreement that they make, the Orlando Police Department will no longer lead the investigation. So the Kesse family is pretty much saying, like, "We want you to give us these files for this price, and we don't want you anywhere near the investigation. You haven't really done you messed up a lot, basically." So Jennifer's father actually compiles a team of 13 members of law enforcement, including former US Secret Service and FBI agents, to continue advancing the search for his daughter. So once they receive the documents, they discover that there is no recorded documentation of investigation efforts between late 2012 and 2019. So the police actually didn't even do any more, investigations during that time period, which the family did not know about. So I don't know why they just stopped investigating it, I don't know, but
Well, I
they
mean,
just
maybe it just went cold.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe they didn't stop, but
There was no investigation efforts between late 2012 and 2019, so there was no effort at all made, apparently, that's what it says. So the Kesse family hires a private investigator named Michael Toretta. And he is adamant that a maintenance worker is involved. That's from the get-go, that is what he is saying. So he says on 48 Hours, quote, "What I'm thinking is Jennifer comes out, she locks the door. Of course, she has her back to the apartment behind her, and then she's abducted by one of those individuals that are living across the hallway." So, like I said, the maintenance workers had actually moved into some vacant suites while they're working on the building. So some of them lived across the hall from her. So he's thinking as soon as she comes out, she's locking the door, her back's to the other apartment, and someone grabs her then. So, he also goes on to say, quote, "She's locking the door and never sees it coming. She probably was attacked immediately upon exiting. She's dragged into that other apartment, and that's the end." End quote. So he's saying she gets dragged into one of the apartments across the hall.
and never makes it to her car at all. Well, how does he explain the hood, the handprints and stuff on the hood? Unless that's just unrelated.
Yeah,
But,
I
like,
don't he doesn't really say anything about that.
mhm.
Um,
And
but
unless they, like, threw her onto the hood when they were, like, putting her in the car to dispose of,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know why you would. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. So even though that is his theory, Jennifer Kesse's father Drew writes on their GoFundMe that the unit was searched with scent dogs and produced negative results. So there was no scent of her anywhere, and like in any of in the apartment at all. But he's like, I don't know. He doesn't specify it's they searched that unit directly across from her, or if they used scent dogs on her unit. But it just says they checked the unit and it was there was negative results. So the PI, Michael Toretta, learns 10 months after the disappearance that a person, said this, but a person was seen dumping up a rolled up piece of carpet into a lake not far from where Jennifer lived. And this tip was especially interesting to him because on the actual day Jennifer goes missing, there were workers laying down carpet across the hall from Jennifer's apartment. So another coincidence. So in November of 2019, local police go out with a dive team to search the lake where the eyewitness says the piece of carpet was dumped. They spent 2 days searching but find nothing. Like I said before. And then so they once again the carpet is not found at all, which it's a lake. It didn't get washed out to sea. If the carpet was at the bottom of the lake, it would be there now. And there was never any carpet found. So I don't know where this theory is coming from, but it's not like it's not just one person that said that. So Michael Toretta now has a new theory on what he thinks happened to Jennifer Kesse. So he says, based on interviews with people who lived at that apartment complex, he believes that up to 10 construction workers were living in an empty apartment building across from Jennifer's condo. So he thinks it was one of them.
10
Yeah,
in one
yeah.
apartment?
No, apartment building across from hers.
Oh, apartment building. Oh.
Yeah. So he's adamant it was one of those 10 workers who abducted her. So
So why don't they interview all those 10 workers? Do they not know who they are?
yeah, they can't. That pushes the undocumented illegal workers.
Oh, yeah, I guess. There'd be
Yeah,
no probably
and
getting
the
paid
and
cash.
it's like I said, like, they disappeared, as soon as the cops came, and the ones that they did end up talking to, they didn't speak English, but they did speak to some, but so that's kinda where it stood. Then that was kinda the last little bit that's kinda where it stood for a while until recently, there was an update. So, as of October 2025, so as of this recording, that was, like, last month, nearly 2 decades after her disappearance, it's reported that state investigators re-examined key evidence in the case. So the Florida Department of Law Enforcement has reopened portions of the investigation. So officials have reportedly identified new DNA evidence that had not been tested previously. So this goes back to the incompetence of the Orlando Police Department. There's a lot of things that the family thinks that they dropped the ball on. So this has sparked new momentum in the case, of course. Now, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement no longer consider Jennifer's case cold, which is huge. This has been probably one of the most baffling cases in Florida history. It has haunted residents for 20 years now, and now it's not considered cold. So I just I just can't believe that. Actually, I was always hoping that this what happened. So, officials have not disclosed the nature of this newly discovered DNA or even how it connects to the already existing materials from the original investigation way back when. Now there are only a select few remaining persons of interest, but those identities have not been made public. So they've narrowed it down to a select few, which is huge because all those workers up they now it's just a few select, but they have not said who.
But we don't know it's one of the workers necessarily,
Yeah,
do we?
it's just they just have narrowed it down, and they have new DNA evidence.
And, like, there's never been thoughts or, like, anything of that it was could have been someone that she knew? Like, someone in her life, like her
The
boyfriend or anything? Like, it's just
You
always
know
been
what?
focused on these workers?
Yeah, the boyfriend has never been considered, I don't think, and he was 3 hours away. Um,
Okay. That's where
and
I
it's
thought this was going when you
yeah,
started talking. I mean, it
but
always is
but
goes to that,
that
but
not to that's not to say that now he's considered a suspect, you know what I mean? Like, it's new evidence, they narrowed it down to some suspects, but up until now, uh, there was no mention that they ever even considered him. So that's where it stands right now. So it's not a cold case anymore. They have narrowed it down to a select few, and they have new DNA evidence, and it's so close. It's getting closer and closer to finding out what happened to this woman. So there's a few notable things I want to mention that I think are important. her uncle Bill told Fox News in 2023 that the Orlando Police Department had claimed that there wasn't any evidence and nothing of consequence with their car. And he went on to publish a book about that, The Aftermath of Jennifer Kesse's Abduction, An Uncle's Quest for Understanding and Inspiring Life Lessons. So he's saying that, yeah, so he's saying that the Orlando police had said there wasn't no evidence on her car at all. So I don't know, like, he's mentioning that because there actually was. I don't know what the purpose of him bringing that up was. So maybe there actually was evidence on the car.
So maybe the police didn't think anything of the supposed
Yeah,
handprint on the hood of the
yeah.
car,
So
and maybe
maybe that's the new evidence, DNA. Someone actually tested it for once, you know? They're not saying what the new DNA evidence is. And then also Jennifer's dad has mentioned that the Florida department have found evidence that was never tested. So this new department has found evidence that the Atlanta police had never found and never tested. So I mean, I don't know. Atlanta police they didn't really seem to follow all avenues to do a lot of testing, I guess. He said one of the things the private investigator discovered is, well, I mentioned this kind of before, is that Jennifer wasn't the only woman living in the complex who was uncomfortable around the workers. He spoke, and also on this, I think it was 48 hours. It's like I think 6 other women actually were interviewed. Actually came on air to say they were all uneasy by the workers. They all had unsettling experiences. So a lot of women came forward and said, we didn't like having these men around. They were just not. They made us feel uneasy. So one woman named Colleen would go on further to say, quote, "When I would come home from work, there'd be a large group of men outside drinking, and whenever I would have to walk past them, there'd be a little bit of comments or just a lot of uncomfortable stares, and it wasn't a great feeling. I didn't like it." End quote. And so, yeah, and then this goes on to say, like, the person of interest in the surveillance video appears to be wearing all white, from what we can see. It's a white outfit. So investigators began questioning food service and healthcare workers and painters. So that's what they're thinking: a food service person, a healthcare worker, or a painter. Um,
I'm thinking a painter. Like a
yeah,
food service worker wears all white outfit like that?
not any place I went to.
Yeah, I know, I'm like, that's weird,
It's like
yeah.
a hazmat suit,
Yeah, I'm
almost.
thinking,
Yeah,
why would you need that if you're
yeah. I'm like,
food
I don't know what kind of
service?
food they're frying up, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like
but
hazardous material or something, but no
oh,
paint,
like a catering company, maybe I was thinking, but they wouldn't wear that. That's like a painter suit. It's not like a tuxedo. I don't know. It's
yeah, like, there's no reason you would be wearing that if you're in food service. Like,
yeah. You don't
why?
need it to like grill a hamburger or something.
No. Like, you wear an apron? I think that's what they
Yeah,
use.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's the point? Like, it's weird. You don't need a
yeah,
full-on bodysuit, like, that's
yeah.
bizarre.
But
So I'm thinking it has to be painter.
yeah, oh, like a manual labor, someone who is construction even maybe, but
Yeah, or,
I'm
like,
thinking
someone who
painter.
does, like, fumigations and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
That
stuff like that, like
yeah.
exterminator or whatever, like,
Yes.
working
Yeah.
with some type of chemical,
I also thought like
but
a healthcare worker maybe if they're working with like contagion material or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
during COVID, everyone was like, you saw hospitals with all the white and the face covered. So maybe
yeah.
there is some. I don't know why they'd be walking around the street in those clothes. They don't have other clothes, I guess. But um, you know what I mean? Like,
But
why
maybe,
would
like but also anyone maybe but also, like,
if
anyone could buy one of those suits and just
yeah,
use that
yeah,
because if they didn't
that
wanna
is
be
true.
detected on any camera,
Yeah,
like, it could just be a
it's
random
interesting
person.
too. Like, no one has mentioned if what the laborers wore were white suits. Like, like maybe that certain company that was the uniform. It'd be interesting to know. It'd be interesting to see if that was the outfit of the workers. It was never
Because
mentioned
then,
though,
like,
and I think it.
that's your answer.
Yeah, and I think if it was, we would know about that by now. So I don't think it was. But it'd be weird if like just one person. Yeah, if he did work at the building and he's the only one that wore that suit. I don't know. It's just weird, but could might not even be a worker from that complex. But anyway, it looks like a painter outfit to me.
Yeah,
So
but it could also just be a random person who bought a suit like that
yeah,
in case they were caught on any footage and,
yeah,
like, clearly what happened.
yeah,
We
yeah,
see the suit, but we can't see who it is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's what they would have
So
wanted, but
yeah, yeah. So according to Toretta, the PI, the police files don't list everyone who was questioned. So yeah, so, like, when the family got all the when they sued the police department, and they got all the records and files and stuff, apparently there was a list of people who was questioned, but not everybody that the PI knows was questioned was listed, which is weird. Why not list everyone? I don't know. So Jennifer it's also noted that Jennifer Kesse even made a formal complaint to the property management company in charge of her building. So she actually had made a complaint about I don't know if it was about one worker or maybe a few of the workers. But she had made a complaint about them,
Maybe it
and
was that worker,
yeah,
like,
and maybe
to get,
the
like,
worker found
revenge
out
on
and got
her?
pissed. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, it'd
yeah,
be important to know who was the worker.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, maybe
yeah,
they do know that, they're just not saying it
yeah.
publicly.
And they
Because
maybe
that
they're
would be
trying to
my first
find him.
question, like, what was
Yeah,
the name of the worker? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And also,
yeah.
there's a GoFundMe page, "Help us find Jennifer Kesse," and it has raised more than $117,000 to help her family pay for the quote monstrous legal fees and PI bills that have accrued over time. End quote. So that's where it stands now. We're just so last month new DNA was tested, and now we're just all kind of anxiously waiting to see what has happened. I would love for someone to get arrested. I would love for answers. If you have any information about Jennifer Kesse's disappearance, they say please visit the Find Jennifer Kesse Facebook page. She would be 44 years old today. And then there's a missing poster that we will post to, but she is still considered a missing person right now, and it's been over 20 years. So that is the case of Jennifer Kesse. What do you think? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, it is.
I mean,
Um,
it kinda seems, like, kinda obvious. Like,
right?
all signs are pointing to someone on that maintenance team. Like, they would have had the potential motive, the means, or what is it? Like, the motive, the opportunity, and all the stuff that they look for, right? Because, like, if the fact that she complained, I'm like, "Okay, there's a motive." That gives someone a motive if they're, like, trying to and then, gives them the means. They're in the area, they have access to the area, they see her, opportunity, um, whatever, right? So I'm thinking, like, that it seems kinda obvious. But there is also the chance it could be someone not
Yeah,
from the property, like, not a maintenance worker, and just but then there's so many more
yeah.
questions, like,
And it's like
well,
it goes
who,
like
and, like, what's
people
their
thinking
motive,
like,
and who's this person?
was she getting stalked by someone specifically? Yeah, like, was it completely was this be something that was premeditated for a long time? Or was it just a spur of the moment, a moment of opportunity? Oh, she's by herself. There's no one. It's early in the morning. No one's out in the hallway right now. I'm grabbing her. Like I've been waiting for this chance. I don't know. But again, the PI is adamant that she got dragged down across the hall into another apartment. No one heard. I would assume she would be yelling, and no one in the other apartments heard anything. But that's what always was just it didn't sit right with me, like, no one heard anything? I don't.
But I think it's possible somebody could, like, hold a gun to you, and then you don't scream. If you're at gunpoint, and they just maybe not even drag her into the apartment, just, like, tell her to go into the apartment under gunpoint, and she goes.
But did they do something to her in the apartment? No one heard a gunshot or something? Or they make her go out to the
Mm,
car with somebody? And you would think it would be a weird scene. Someone's walking scared, like, it would look strange. Someone getting forced into a
yeah.
car, at gunpoint. If
Even if they
they
don't have
didn't
the
have
gun out at that time,
yeah,
like,
I would
visible,
just
but it's
run.
still
Yeah. Like, yeah,
yeah,
so I'm not sh like, where did they and, like, the rolled up carpet, they were working on carpet the week before, and there was rolled up carpet dumped into a lake, never found, but multiple people had said that, and
yeah.
so where did they take her?
Was 'cause
You
then I
know
was thinking, like, maybe something happened to her inside the apartment, and then they just waited, was like, maybe till it was dark, like, middle of the night to, like, bring the body out so no one would see, but then they
Yeah,
did move the car at noon by noon.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe not the
yeah,
body, though.
yeah, but whatever they did to her, someone would have heard in the next apartment building, I think. I mean, next suite, you would hear something, a gunshot or something. But no one has ever said they heard anything amiss. She literally just disappeared. She from her car to her from her front door to her car. She has been gone for 20 years. It's just It's very crazy, and I think one another thing about this case that has always stuck with me, and it's so fascinating to people, is that security footage of that painter, and his face is obscured every 3 seconds. Um, it's just very lucky. I don't know, I find that it doesn't happen very often, I feel, and even
Yeah.
NASA couldn't get it clear enough,
They
so
can
he
get
got
clear
very lucky.
images of, like, planets
Yeah,
gajillion
yeah,
miles away, but they can't get a
yeah,
clear image of
yeah, he
this
got very
man
lucky. Yeah. Oh, woman.
or
But
woman, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so that's kinda where it stays, so
And then
I
also
just really
too, like, there's no I'm assuming you would have said that there's no ever like, her family or friends or anyone never said, like, she did think someone was stalking her, she did
yeah,
mention something. The only thing that we would have would be that she reported one of the workers
yeah,
for making her
she
feel uncomfortable, which is
yeah, yeah,
the
and
closest
she
we're gonna get
was
to.
I mean, I don't know how long she hadn't been living there for very long, so I don't know if these people had been renovating the whole time she lived there, or, and but however long they were there, she was very uncomfortable every day around them, and, um, yeah, I don't no, I feel like they would like, the person who hired that company would have, you would think, a name of all the workers and their info, but they hightailed out of there ASAP, most of them, and they were never tracked down. They couldn't track them down somehow.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I think, like, maybe it could've been also a fake name if they're
Yeah,
undocumented. Somebody
yeah,
could've
if
just
it's
showed up
illegal,
to work,
they
paying
they just
cash,
work
fake name.
hired a bunch of illegal because it's
Yeah.
cheaper probably, and didn't want to. It's also interesting that the security guard handed over logs that were incomplete, so he wasn't doing his job, and, like, it's also interesting, she chose that specific apartment for the safety measures, and in the end,
It doesn't sound like me.
it didn't help her at all, it's so sad. Like, they have a security guard that's doing shoddy work, and there's no security cameras. I hope we get answers soon, um, where
Yeah,
she's
it's the
at,
closest we've ever been.
yeah, so yeah, it's been stagnant for so long, so this has been a huge break in the case, for sure, so we'll keep you posted if we hear anything.
Yeah, wow.
I have the headquarter number, 850-410-7000. If you have any information at all, any tips, please call them, or that Facebook the family says there's, a Find Jennifer Facebook page, and if you have any information about that, the parents say, "Please put it there." I think they
Okay,
man it. I think they look at it quite often, and they're keeping
okay.
on top of that, but yeah.
And we'll put a link to that in the show
Yeah,
notes.
yeah. Find Jennifer Kesse Facebook page. Yep.
I mean, things are looking good.
Up.
The fact that they're
Yeah.
looking up, yeah, not good, but they're looking up, like, the fact that they're closer than they've ever been, and usually when you get 20
There's a
years out from a
yeah.
case, it's like,
And the thing is, like, Jennifer Kesse's family, they seem to have had the money to hire a private investigator. They paid $18,000 for the doc and stuff. Other families, they can't afford that. So it really goes to show you, if they hadn't had the money for that, there would be no new evidence. I feel like they'd just be so. Um, it really shows the difference between people who can afford more help and better help. So I'm hoping it pays off all the money they spent, and um, yeah. So fingers crossed we get something soon.
all right, yeah, that does it for our coverage. Yeah, I guess final thoughts. I guess we kinda said that already, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hoping
I
they
mean, I think it was definitely one of the workers for sure. I think they had been planning it for a while, and they took an opportunity and seized on it. And I, I I don't know. To me, I think they took her in the car and she didn't even go. They didn't even take her to the apartment. For some reason, I think they put her in the car and drove her somewhere secluded, and that's where she may still be. I don't think she even was in one of the apartment buildings. I don't for some reason. I don't think she even. But other people say otherwise, but that's just my feeling on it. The marks on the hood and stuff, I feel like a lot that's just kind of that was glossed over too quickly. I feel like something major happened, and no one's they just kind of left it for us to just kind of ponder about, I guess.
yeah, yeah, it's weird. I mean, definitely it's, like, pretty, like, intriguing
Yeah.
piece of this, like, you might wanna look into that a little bit
Yeah,
more.
but maybe that is the new DNA evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll hope, but there's only a select few, um, suspects remaining, so they're narrowing it down, I think, and they're getting closer than they have in years, so let's hope that the family gets the answers.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it brings hope to, like, I always think, like I was saying before, once you get 20 years out from a case, it's
Yeah,
more and more unlikely you're gonna actually get,
yeah,
those breaks, so it's like,
yeah,
it also gives hope to other cases too. Like, this is what
yes,
can happen, like you said, when you have
yeah,
money, you can, like,
yeah, but it
push
makes
things
me so
forward, you can
sad
have
for
the resources, yeah.
makes me so sad for people who have nothing, who can't hire
Yeah.
for an investigator, who can't pay $18,000 to take over the investigation, who can't, they're just so
We'll keep you posted on updates for this one
yeah,
as
I'm
they come, and hopefully
I'm
it's somewhat
s
soon.
yeah, I check every day. I this case has been one of the ones I have spent hours on, really. It's just I think it's the security footage to me of that guy that for some reason has just sunk and it's made it so, I just can't forget about it. It's just he got extremely lucky, this guy. So, I want his luck to run out soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it will. We
Yeah.
can hope. Let's
Yeah.
hope. Yeah, or her luck. We
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that does it for our coverage of this case. We hope you enjoyed listening to kind of our breakdown of the facts,
Mhm.
and kind of our theories a little bit. So, thank you so much for listening. So you can follow us on social media. We're at Crime Family Podcast on all the social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just search Crime Family Podcast. You'll find us. You can send us an email at crimefamilypodcast@gmail.com if you have any feedback or case suggestions or theories, or you just kind of want to talk about any of the cases that we've discussed. And we're available on all the podcast platforms, so you can watch the video versions of the episodes on YouTube and Spotify every week. We do release the video versions on those platforms, and you can listen to us the audio episodes everywhere else, like Apple Podcasts and all the other platforms. You can listen to the audio as well. So that does it for this week. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.